Secretary. Uh, Director Spina, had you been informed, I would assume, because if I were in your shoes, I had been informed, and I am answerable to everybody for what happens there. Would you have taken command of the operations?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll take full command and control as well as responsibility for everything had I known.
Because I would assume that had you been informed by whoever on the instructions of the President, that would imply that you would be taking command of everything.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, the other question I would like to ask, therefore, is this, Mr. Secretary Rojas. Here, the problem, this to me is a human resource management problem. Because there seems to be some insubordination there. There may be a question of incompetence there. There may be a question of negligence even. Or maybe even violation of existing national policies. Question. Is the President looking at the use of his disciplinary function and power?
He has ordered me to direct the appropriate bodies to study the possible disciplinary actions that are available at the PNP level, at the NAPOLCOM level, and to include the DOJ level. And so I have likewise coordinated with Secretary De Lima.
De Lima, yes. Because the possibility that may not only be the disciplinary actions being thought of may not only be this administrative, but including criminal. Is that correct?
I am not a lawyer, but I would assume so, and so that's why the DOJ is part of those studying the matter.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Now to Secretary Gasmin. When Albarca happened, and then also the test mission in Basilan happened, many battalion commanders and brigade commanders asked me, I asked a question to them. Is the rule of engagement or the rules of engagement when the military will have to do something or the police will have to do something in relation to the peace process, are the guidelines clear, Mr. Secretary?
The guidelines are very clear, Your Honor.
That would you, in this case of the Mamasapano, was these guidelines a factor in the delivery of assistance to the SAF?
No,
Was
it was
it a
not.
factor?
It was not, Your Honor, because
It was not.
they went into the rescue mode even without consultation with in consultation with the CCC.
So the guidelines are very clear, especially if there is reference to high value targets.
Even to high value targets.
High value target. I'm not referring to dollar sign. I'm talking about this global war against terrorism. May I have one more question?
Definitely.
Yes. Mr. Secretary, the two secretaries, the ILG, and maybe even the Honorable Cesar Garcia may answer my question. The question is this. Are you aware of the United Nations resolution number, I think it's 1373, and this mutual bilateral agreement with the United States and multilateral agreement in ASEAN relative to the conduct of global war against terrorism. Are you aware of the existence of this? Of which we are signatories. The Honorable Garcia, are you aware of this? Secretary?
Sir, what I'm aware of is that we are participants in this war against terrorism.
That's right.
I am not sure what is the document, whether that is an international or DFA
It is-
document. But
it-
I am aware that supposedly all of this cooperation and coordination goes through the Anti-Terrorism Council, which is headed by the Executive Secretary.
Yes.
So such coordination will go through that council or that body, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, Mr. Secretary, and to all of us, though, there is this United Nations resolution of which we are signatories. One, in cooperation, insofar as exchanges of information is concerned, intelligence information, for example, and that map there is of no issue. Because this is so provided in the United Nations resolution. Number one, as a matter of fact, that resolution even goes beyond assistance in equipment, assistance in training, and in some cases, assistance, direct assistance, military assistance, as a matter of fact. So there is this existence of our United Nations resolution that we are. So the issue, I think, on the presence of the Americans, except they cannot participate on actual combat operations.
Sir, the chair remind you that your time is up.
Well,
Yes,
okay.
kindly, if there is a question, who kindly answer the question of Congressman Biaso, please.
Thank you, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman. The original United Nations resolution is 1267. That was the so-called United Nations sanctions resolution. It provided for, it required member states to deny the territory from being used as sanctuaries for internationally sanctioned terrorist personalities and organizations. It also required member states to freeze assets of various terrorist personalities as listed in the United Nations sanctions list. It also required member states to deny entry into their territory of terrorist personalities moving across the border. Subsequent to that United Nations Security Council resolutions, there were other resolutions that came afterwards. The latest of which is the 12th resolution on foreign fighters. But somewhere in between was one resolution that required other member states to provide assistance to other states for purposes of capacitating them to fight terrorism. And one clear example of that was a particular resolution that was complied with by the European Union, where it came to the assistance of the Philippine government in strengthening our borders through the Philippine Border Management Program. There were many others, Mr. Secretary, after that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman, I will be asking the OPAP, but it will be in that ad hoc committee, not here.
Well, thank
Maybe
you,
ad hoc
Honorable
committee.
Biazon.
Thank you.
Next to ask question is